Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome back to our YouTube channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine. The village is also fantastic, as you can see. And maybe you could also let me know where you are watching the video from. The county or the country in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier this week, Japhet Koome, the Inspector General of Police, made certain statements which caused huge political storm in the Republic of Kenya. According to Koome, there are certain political leaders in the Republic of Kenya who actually went to the mortuaries, hired bodies, and then paraded those bodies as victims of police brutality during the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya protest. For me, I found those statements by Koome to be insensitive. And Raila Odinga actually responded to Japhet Koome. And today, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance will parade caskets of the victims of police brutality somewhere in Bondo. I want you guys to pay very close attention to the insensitive statement which was made by Japhet Koome. I'm not disputing what Japhet Koome is saying. What I'm saying is the IG of police. So if so and so went to the mortuary, hired bodies, then he should go and arrest those people. He should open files. Then Raila Odinga also responded to him. Listen in to Japhet Koome before we continue, because this is going to be very interesting.
We've seen in the recent past, and very unfortunate, senior members of the society going to mortuaries, hiring dead bodies, calling media, telling media that these people were killed by police officers. How low can some of our leaders think? Anyway, I wish to take this opportunity to tell fellow Kenyans that as the National Police Service, we have a role to protect life and property. We have a responsibility to ensure this country is secure and safe. And that is a mandate we are going to discharge without fear or favor. So the propaganda out there will not discourage us. They can continue threatening us that so and so will go to ICC, so and so will go to court. That has no implications at all in terms of our commitment. We have a duty to serve our beautiful country, colleagues. We cannot allow what is happening in the neighborhood. We know what is happening in the neighboring countries. We are not going to allow that to happen to our country.
And then Raila Odinga had this as a response to Japhet Koome.
We'll do whatever it takes to ensure justice for the victims. We'll ensure the perpetrators of these crimes pay. And it is actually very disappointing to see a statement from Inspector General of Police, Mr. Koome, saying that we hired dead bodies to accuse police of brutality. I don't know in which world he lives. Because the bodies we've been burying have bullet wounds on them.
Death certificates.
And death certificates confirming the cause of death. One was whose neck was just chopped off in Sondo. Another one was a victim of arrow attack. So these are real deaths of human beings killed by Mr. Koome's goons, masquerading as police officers. We continue to extend our sincere, heartfelt condolences to families who lost loved ones and those who were injured. We thank all those who have contributed to our benevolence fund that has enabled us to extend some little help to victims and their families.
Now, I want to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, whether you support Azimio or not, or whether you are Kenya Kwanza or not. Do you think Kenya police actually targeted the Luos during the protest. I'm asking this because, in my view, that's exactly what they did. What happened in Kisumu actually qualifies as tribal cleansing. And it also qualifies as a Luo massacre. I'm saying this because if you looked at the way the protests happened across the country, there were serious protests in Kisii. You can't quantify the number of deaths in Kisii and compare it to what happened in Nyalenda. There were serious protests in Busia. Deaths were never really as high as in Kisumu. In Nyalenda, which was very peaceful, that's where majority of deaths happened. It means, therefore, that someone somewhere actually targeted the people of Nyalenda. And if you go there and talk to the people, they strongly believe that they were targeted because of the previous banning of that UDA office. But let us not get into that. I want us to look at the political objectives which Raila Odinga and Azimio are intending to achieve by parading those caskets. Before we do that, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. And without any further ado, let us dive in. But before we do that, allow me to thank everybody and anyone who has ever supported this channel in one way or the other. I know all of you guys are always liking the videos, you are sharing the videos. That's why I'm actually in the village. For those who might not know, there's a time we lost the 8 members of our families. And another one passed on. She's been in hospital ICU since that time. She passed on and we are burying her today. That's why I'm actually doing this video from here. So it means I value the support you give this channel now. Ladies and gentlemen, why do you think Azimio are going to parade those dead bodies? And why do you think that's a big concern for Kenya Kwanza? Number one, there is propaganda warfare. And this propaganda warfare was actually started by the government. And for a long time, Azimio were actually giving in to that propaganda, that there were actually no police brutality. As at now, if you read any statement which has ever been issued by the government, none has ever mentioned any single dead person as a result of police brutality. None. And I was sad sometimes back when the Principal Secretary for Interior, Raila Odinga, went to Bondo and there was that chief whose house was burned. He went there. They were building for him another house. He issued a statement. And in that statement, it was sad that they only mentioned the people who lost their businesses. They never mentioned anybody who was injured, anybody who died as a result of the police brutality. And therefore, they were winning the war. So what Raila Odinga and Azimio are trying to do now is to tell the country that as much as these guys are saying there were no police brutality, we have these 3 people who were killed in Bondo. This is the 1, 2, 3. These are their parents. These are public. This thing happened in this town. Their cause of death was this. So basically by doing that, they are going to win that propaganda war. Otherwise, if they let it the way they were doing, and one thing which I really pity, which I think Azimio should have done and they have not done, is giving support to the victims. There are so many people who are hurt. There are so many people who are still in mortuaries because their families cannot actually take care of the expenses. Why can't they just chip in? So that propaganda warfare is not being taken to the public. Azimio are taking it to Bondo. I'm sure the other day I saw Gladys Wanga and Mama Raila Odinga somewhere in Rangwe. So I tend to think that's exactly what is going to happen. And the other day I saw my governor, not my governor really, my senator, Tom Ojianda, asking for the names of businesses which were looted, He has never asked for the victim. He's a lawyer. He should be fighting for their rights, for those who are killed. He's never. So for me, they are now dealing with the propaganda. Number 2, I also tend to think that this is part of Azimio strategy of collecting evidence, so that nobody will say that there were no dead people. It is being documented. Azimio were documenting this using the media. Media helped them document the police brutalities. Now they are burying these people. It will be known that in Bondo, 3 people were killed, and all these 3 people who were killed, they were killed by the police. None was actually killed by protesters. In Kisumu, they will say, like I know there's a point, there were almost 15 people who were killed in Kisumu. They will say these 15 people were killed by none other than the police. These are their family members. This is their villages, so you can have those information. So for me, I tend to think that this is Azimio's strategy of collecting the evidence. And those evidence will be used, if I'm not wrong, later. Number 3, it's also a strategy to portray the government of Kenya as insensitive, especially to the lives of Luos. And that's why this hashtag of Luo Lives Matter keeps on trending. Because if the IG of police can call a press conference and utter those kind of a statement, and out of the, how many people were killed? 80 or 90% are from the Luos. It means you don't value those people. You don't value lives. You know, the police are supposed to protect the lives and properties. Then if you don't protect the life, it means you are insensitive government. In fact, when Josephat Kome made that statement, everybody was against him. It was like the guy is actually insensitive. And I also tend to think, number 4, that this is a kind of strategy to provoke the government to stop the process. You know, they've called for as we have called for the parading of the victims, then the government will attempt to go and stop them. What will happen? Any attempt to stop that event will portray the government in a bad way. And that's why I hope the government will just let them proceed. But again, if they proceed, what will be the political implication? Bondo has a cabinet minister. Bondo has Gumbo, guys were not really sworn into office. And lastly, I also tend to think that Azimio are keen on advancing this police brutality. Because when I listened to Ikemani Shongwa before the bipartisan talks, it was very clear that for them, they're not going to deal with the issues which are being dealt with in courts. One of them is police brutality. That they're not going to discuss any individual government officer who was doing his responsibility. So let us wait and see how these things are going to unfold. But for me, I tend to think that those are the reasons why they're going to parade these caskets for the entire country to see the level and the extent of police brutality. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.